Let me answer your questions. I thought it was obvious, that is, how to attach these effects to our character. This applies to all effects that are based on the Trails Off Mountain VFX system. That is, be it these effects, be it this. And if you make them using some guides on the internet, I think I've watched almost all of them, if not all of them, and they all work more or less the same. There are just some effects that don't work with this function. That is, in this case, they ask me why I don't start to experience effects, because these effects need animation. If you have an animated moving animation, that is, you hit, attack, and so on, it doesn't matter, then the animation sees that. That is, the effect sees that there is some speed, and it needs to follow the object that is moving. In this case, our sword is moving, and he understands that he needs to follow the sword. And if nothing moves, then you see nothing. By default, it will not work there. This is the very first thing you need to know. As I have already mentioned, animation is absolutely necessary both for the character and, of course, for the weapon as well. Yes, it truly does not matter what weapon you use. You simply need animation for the bones so they can move and shift properly. Let me show you this more clearly. The first thing you need is animation. Yes, I am repeating this many times for emphasis. If you do not have any animation, in this case, for example, I made a target and it does not know how to perform this action. Just select any animation you need from the available options. Right-click when you are targeting the animation. Here, I am selecting the most basic skeleton. Andrei Lavsky, we are not simple. I reassign the animation to it, choosing exactly what I need. Select export, not machines, the prefix, and so on. If you need everything, remove it, and specify export again. Now we have animation that will work on this mannequin. Now it does not matter if you have a game, for example. If you have a game, this effect is your only character, one weapon, or a footprint effect. Weapons are different, but these footprint effects are just one effect. There are not many of them. Or, if you are making a cinematic, you only have one effect, and you want to capture it on your render, then the following method will suit you perfectly. It is the simplest and most elementary method available. I already pointed this out in the comments. What do you need to do? First of all, you need to add sockets to this character. In the Skeleton Trees tab, we can see the skeletons. These are our bones. Here, we specifically find both the left and right hand, labeled as hand L and hand R. If you right-click and select Add Sockets, a socket will be added to the selected bone. Rename it. I renamed the left hand in the Wii Phantom 2 world, just as an example. For the right hand, I simply called it Miley when you add juices to it. So, rename it, then select the juices option, right-click, and from the Asset Preview window, you can select your weapon. What is it called there? I am not entirely sure. So, choose whatever is available there, then adjust these weapons to your character's hands so that they display and appear correctly in the game. Now, regarding those specific cases when you have only one effect, you need to find it. That is, go to the place or the moment in the timeline where the effect should start. In this case, for example, I want to start the effect right here. I have it on Tifa from the tab. Here are the tracks by default, and there will only be one track. I think yes, if you have only one hand, you can just leave it as it is. If you have two hands and you want to animate both hands, for example, if you are using daggers or two-handed swords or any similar weapons, then just add another one to the track first. Let's right-click in tab 1 on Tifa and select the timing, not the agar effect, and stretch it as far as possible until we find the best one. The frame where the effect should end is where we select the effect we need. I'll select it from here. Let's first throw it in and select the hand. I'm animating the right hand first, so I'll select the socket I specified for the right hand. Here are the right hand. There, for melee weapon, I specified that socket. Now it will work by default. All you need to do is just take your sequencer, if you have one, and just add the character. I'm not very good with sequencers, I apologize. If you know, please write in the comments what I'm doing wrong here. I added it, but it's not animating for me, meaning the animation, you just have to set it in motion. But as you can see, the effects are playing, but the animation isn't. You can see it's working, but it's not moving. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. In any case, if you set this up, everything will work correctly for you. You just need to set the animation in motion. This is for those of you who just have an attack animation and a single effect. That's all for you. That will be more than enough. Now, for those of you who have a more complex system in your game, many different weapons, perhaps weapons that need to be picked up. There. Maybe you have multiple effects for each weapon, custom effects, and so on. I'm talking to you now. Alright, as you understand, we have, if you don't know, then as always, I'll state the obvious. We have a character here. This character, let me just find it for you. This character must have some kind of logic, right? First, you must have a weapon attached. Like the standard way, there's a weapon that's just attached right here, and it will work for you. Or you do not have this weapon in your hand. Instead, it is created either somewhere in the world, as I have already shown, some object that you step on, and that is it. It is created. Or it just spawns in some other way, I don't know. It's a blueprint. You have many different blueprints, so somewhere in your project you must have some logic. I don't know exactly what your specific logic is, but in principle, you must have logic where you create the weapon and then attach it to the character, okay? Why am I saying this? In this case, I just added this to the right mouse button for demonstration purposes. It doesn't matter where you create it, it just has to be created. This method assumes that we will be controlling this system manually. With the left mouse button, we just play the montage once. If anyone doesn't know what a montage is, it's the animation that we configured where we specified that there, the effect is created. We right-click on it, and then in the Create tab, we select the option to create anim montage. The montage is created, and then we go into it. And inside it, we do exactly what we did in the regular animation, meaning this track that's here, in this particular case, it's not needed. We do the same thing in the anim montage. Only pay attention, we need to create not a timed Niagara effect, if I remember correctly. Let me check. Timed Niagara effect. Not that one, but a montage notify window. When we add it, just like last time, in that example, we configure where it starts and where it ends. But you don't need to specify anything in it. Just simply give it a name if you want, for example. Then, in our code, we can call the play montage function. Here, we'll have pins available, which are the outputs for when our animation montage actually begins. This is specifically for the effect we specified here, for both its start and its end. We can create a spawn system attached node for the start. So we create it, specify this variable for which effect we want, and where to attach it. In this case, it's the mesh. We attach it there and indicate the same bone. And then that's enough to create it. Let's do it like this. That will be enough to create it. But you see, I'm moving and it's moving with me, but it's not being deleted. That's what I'm talking about. You need to run the animation for the effect to play. Then, if we want to destroy it, we have two options. We can use the notify end. We can either delete it with destroy component when the animation finishes, or we can detach it, just unbind it from the component. Pay attention to the settings that are specified here. If you're using destroy, you don't need auto destroy, don't check it. If you want to do a detach, then check auto destroy. Why am I saying this? Because let me just show you with an example. Here, if we do a destroy this way, the following happens. When it finishes, it's just abruptly removed, meaning it doesn't have time. It doesn't have time to fade out. If we do a detach, we give it time to fade out, and by checking the auto destroy box, we're saying, nah, now you can't. The effect can. It has time, it's given time to fade out smoothly before the next animation starts. Here it will just detach. At this moment it will detach from our sword and the effect will fade out and cease to exist. It will destroy itself. I recommend and suggest you use this method because it's more elegant and not particularly, I would say there isn't much difference between them, but this one will be more harmonious and look better. Then for the settings, set everything as you see it. I don't think I touched anything else. The main thing is just to select keep world here. That's all. So it starts and is removed. The animation. Alright, if you have any more questions, please write them in the comments, or better yet, join our server, our Discord server, so that people there can also get some benefit. I would be very happy if you help beginners, because some questions really surprise me. Although I understand that I'm more experienced, but nevertheless, it seemed to me that this thing is elementary, but I just forgot what I was like when I was a beginner. In any case, subscribe, leave likes, and so on. All the best. See you.